Board member roll call. We have Mr. Goldenberg, Mr. Gould, Mr. Pomeroy. Mr. Bell is out tonight. And our student board member is, she on the way?
She apologized, but she's a bit caught up in traffic.
Caught up in traffic.
We're just caught in right now.
All right, if everyone will please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Put your hand over your heart if you can.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, tonight's meeting is being visually recorded, and the board did not meet in closed session tonight. Item 5 on our agenda is a special recognition and presentation for the California Relief Arbor Day Poster Contest winners.
So if the poster contest winners would come up. Don't be shy. Come on over here. Just turn around so everyone can see you. Okay, so first of all, as I said to the parents, thank you so much for being here. We're proud of you. I had no idea of the contest. And so I was at the State of the City, and the city council meeting agenda said that, and I had already taken pictures of their pictures because I thought they were so great, and then I realized they were our kids. So, so that's why they're here tonight, so that we can properly acknowledge them. So we'll go back to Chloe's. And Chloe's from La Rosa. Chloe, you want to tell us anything about your picture? I told you wouldn't have to make a speech, just if you want to share something about your picture. No? Anything special about the picture? It has a rainbow in it, right? Okay,
It
so
looks like you may have had a really good time drawing that picture. Yeah?
okay, good speech, Chloe. Very good. Excellent. All right, let's try Casey. 4th grade, trees are superheroes. That was the theme, right, girls? Yes? Yes, yes, yes. Anything you want to share? Okay, good. Your speech is excellent. Mia, right? Don't let me down. Switch right here. Mia actually went to state, went to Sacramento, was it last week? Or the week before? A week before. All right, so you want to just share a little bit about that and just step back a little bit. You don't have to talk into that, it'll pick you up.
I wanted to represent how trees take care of the earth, like providing oxygen for us and taking care of us in many ways.
And tell us about what happened when you went to Sacramento. You don't have to go through the whole thing, like we got there, we got out of the car, that kind of thing. What happened while you were up there?
I was given my award at the representation of my picture.
And what award did you receive?
A check for $100. The Imagination Award.
The Imagination Award. So, well, girls, we're very proud of you, and we have a little something. As I told you, you can choose to share it with your parents and family or not. These are Yogurland gift cards. And okay, thank you very much. Let's hear for him one more time. Pictures? Jared, did you want to take a picture?
I'd love to. Good.
Okay. Girls, back up. No speech.
Check the card on the picture.
Come right up here. your case that way. You want to hold the miniatures of your pictures? This is,
You want to request the state $100.
Sorry,
You good?
Great, thank you.
Thank you, girls. Here, take it.
My mom. I was like, I want to be in an art contest.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you for coming. Okay, I have one request for public comment for tonight. Just be cool.
Thank you so much. So basically, I just wanted to come and say thank you because I know that money is finite, but the learning that you make available to us educators is so important. I'm not exactly sure how many Temple City Unified School District staff members attended CUE, which is Computer Using Educators. It's a really cool conference that's been happening for years, and it just keeps evolving and has just amazing opportunities of learning. One of the many speakers that was just fabulous, his name was George Kuros, I think I pronounced correctly. Anyway, he was one of those that at the end it was like, oh, that right there was just worth the price of admission. It was so motivational. I think he was the opening speaker for Acadia last year, so some educators got to hear him, last year also, but I had not heard him before. And it was just one of those, we've got to do right by our kids and things like the STEAM and the just educating them with technology and stuff and the importance of implementing it and making it available to all the kids and how important that is was part of his speech. And so I was immediately a fan, and so I got in line and I bought a book, and so I bought actually 5. And so this one is for the district office, and a thank you to the superintendent for sending this, and then one for the board. So thank you very much for sending all of us educators to continue our education. And then the last thing is, of course, Civil War Day is coming up. I think we're on, let's see, like year 15 now. So it's been going for a while. So April 7th, the first Friday we get back from spring break. And of course the cannons are coming and the horse is coming. And this year we have Diane Chang Ho was able to get Harriet Tubman for the afternoon. And so we're going to split our time with the America's Brass Band. We'll have half the time with the America's Brass Band, and the kids are going to dance with them. So we'll see how that goes. They'll learn how to square dance, and so hopefully it won't be too chaotic, and they'll get to actually dance to the live music, and then they'll hear Harriet Tubman. So it should be a neat afternoon. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Okay, district updates from business services. Okay. Anyone else going to give an update?
As Mary Ann would say, no update this evening, Mr. Marston. Thank you.
Educational services.
Well, we have quite a bit going on, so let me find my list so that I can be mindful of where we are. I just had it up and we'll just manage some of it. So I just wanted to share once again that many of us had an opportunity to go to CUE and listen to the speaker like George, as well as Joe Bowler, who really talked about mindset in terms of mathematics and technology. So that was appreciated. And there was great learning and there was great representation on behalf of the district from the school sites, teachers, site administrators.
And then I just wanted to share that last week, while some of us were at Q, Emperor had their second epic build with robotics, and that went wonderfully with their STEAM night activities, and so I kind of think that praise. So I want to thank the Emperor staff and parents and all of those that were, and students, of course, who were involved in that. And I got pictures all along as we were away at the conference. The Rosa will be having their epic build coming up on the 25th of this month. And so we will apprise you of the times, but that is the date. We also wanted to let you know that on the 21st, can you hear me? On the 21st, we have our STEAM Expo on behalf of the district. It's going to be at Temple City High School, so that really will showcase all of our schools as well as some of the events. We will also have people from the community, businesses from the community, sharing those next steps in career college opportunities for students and that are involved in STEAM, so that it creates the excitement and the meaning as they become older and they're looking at what their next steps are going to be beyond their fine education here in Temple City. Last Friday, while some of us were at Q, we also had our first Arts Committee meeting here at the district that was supported by Ed Services, as well as LACO came in and helped us with the beginning stages of developing our newest and most updated arts plan. And so we have representation from all of the schools and also from community members that are involved and have appreciation for the arts and the arts in our schools. And we were very pleased to just be reminded that we did a great job with that as well. We were well represented with that. On Saturday, we have Oak competing in Odyssey of the Mind in Northern California, and so they'll be traveling up on Friday, and we wish them well in their endeavors. We also have, I believe, on the 4th FTC Robotics Championship that will, excuse me, I made a mistake, that the Science Olympiad will be happening, as well as FTC Robotics Championship on the 19th. So you can see this rich piece of STEAM and all of the things that are going along with it coming forward. I also just wanted to share with you on that California has released the dashboard that will show us the different information about how we are doing in our schools and as we are as a district. That will be part of local control funding formula and the LCAP plan. We'll have more specifics for you at our next meeting. We'll spend a little more time going deeper in depth for you in the community as we do that. But we are working with and just finished working with our ASCs at the secondary side, and we'll be moving on to those surveys coming soon. And then I just wanted to say last but not least, which makes us very proud after coming back from Q and some of those other activities, is that on Monday we had site visitations at our high school for Golden Ribbon, which is replacing the California Distinguished Schools Award. And we had another visit on Tuesday at Oak. And I have to say that what it does now is it looks at your signature practices as a school as opposed to the school as a whole. And I can just be very proud and say on behalf of both Temple City High School and Oak that they have been commended to go forward for receiving that award from the state of California. And it cannot be done without all of our work, but I especially want to thank the staff over at Temple City High School and at Oak, because you really could see from top to bottom everybody at the schools, the students, the certificated, classified, administration, all coming alongside to really demonstrate what a wonderful experience school is. At our schools, and I can say that the other people who were there were taking notes because we have such stellar representation of what we do at our schools. So both of those were surrounding STEAM, 21st century, and career. I'm losing it. CTE. Thank you. Career technical education. So thank you, Oak and Temple City High School.
And just to clarify, if I may, La Rosa's epic build, you said the 25th, is that April 25th?
That is April. Okay.
personal services. Can you follow that?
No, I cannot. But I would just like to echo Dr. Kistler's comment about the golden ribbon. Just being there and observing our staff, not just the staff that was presenting, but staff in general, made me really proud to be part of Temple City Unified School District. And I think I want to sign up for Dave Dickey's class.
Well, they say it takes a village, and I'm very proud to say that we are quite the strong village to make these type of accomplishments happen. So I'm very proud. Bargaining unit comments, TCEA,
Just a slight add-on to the
please.
visitations. The grounds crew, those guys were amazing. Our school has never looked so good, and they seem very proud at what they were doing and of their product. And I think everybody really appreciates it. So thank you all for making that happen.
CSEA 105? CSEA 823? Okay, moving on to our student board member comments. Welcome, Jessica. How are you tonight?
So we have been preparing for the assembly that it will be this Friday. It's minimum day this Friday, so we're going to try to jam in that assembly, and then everybody will be going on to spring break, which we're all ready for. And at this assembly, it's the one with like black lights and neon, and we're going to try to make it really cool. The lights will be off, and try to get everybody really excited for that. We're also preparing for CDs on April 7th, and this past Tuesday, Mrs. Kistler came into ASB to kind of discuss what ASB thinks about like, the LCAP, and it was actually really informational on our side, and we were able to add in our ideas, so that was really cool. And also, it was really awesome that we talked about how our lockdown procedure works at our special meeting with City Council, because we actually had a lockdown today, and it was nice to know, oh, who put the lockdown request in? Was it the police, the district, or the school itself? So when we had lockdown today, I was kind of like showing off my knowledge and telling my class. So that was really awesome, and that is all.
All righty, board member comments. Mr. Gould, if you would, please.
Yeah, first of all, I wanted to say how much I enjoyed the musical at the St. Louis Music Playhouse, My Fair Lady. Friday night's performance was very good, and it continued to get even better on Saturday and Sunday. And Sunday said everybody, I know a lot of kids and stuff, well, hey, we've really got it down now, we can really do a good job. But I think it did an outstanding job with the orchestra and all the kids participating and stuff. And it's always nice to see, you know, the elementary kids being involved in the performances and stuff too. It's, you know, kind of let them performing and getting their feet wet. I apologize, I wasn't able to make the steam night over at Emperor because I was at the Oak Orchestra performance, and that was fabulous. It's always nice to listen to the kids playing and stuff and just wonder, you know, I remember in my high school, the beginning class sounded even better than my high school used to. So it is really neat to watch it. And I think also that night too was the inaugural night of the using the fans in the gym, and they were a nice blessing. So thank you very much for getting the fans in there. And they had on just for low speed, because they said when they turn them up and stuff, the big ones sound like a helicopter, and it kind of blows all the music all over the place. But it was very nice. It was very nice inside the gym and stuff for the day and stuff. Just that I was able to participate in or be part of the Oak Avenue Golden Ribbon one, and I got a chance to talk to one of the observers just briefly and stuff, and just how excited she was to be there and stuff, and to see all of our things that we were doing for the kids and stuff. And she was very impressed with our setup and stuff that we had, so it's very nice to hear that. And last night, I know the 5th and 6th graders went to Washington DC. They left in a plane from LAX at 11:30 last night, and they got there early this morning, and they already visited the James Monroe's house and Monticello for Jefferson, and they all seem very excited, although I'm sure they're very tired, so I'm sure they're sound asleep now. It was really neat watching. And tomorrow night, our Fireside Singers and escorts will be taking off, I think about 11 o'clock at night, something like that, I think. Again, and heading for New York to perform at the Carnegie Hall, and also to perform up in Boston too. So our school district is very busy, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. That's all.
I'll remind us that we have about 2 minutes each to speak. Mr. Mulder?
Okay. I'd just like to thank and congratulate the candidates that came in for Harbor Day and the posters. A couple of things that were mentioned at another presentation was that they competed against about 1,400 people in the state. They came in first and third in the state competition, and they came in, I think, 1, 2, and 3 in the local competition. Also, I was at the Emperor and the STEAM presentation, and I thought that was rather interesting going from room to room to see that everything, especially the math room where they had some little candy. Also, I was at both Temple City High School and Oak for the presentations for the Golden Ribbon, and at high school they were talking about CAD and the CAD certification, which is very valuable, I think, personally, for people, because I don't think there's going to be jobs for draftspeople anymore. There are going to be jobs for CAD, computer aided design. And at Oak, I was fortunate to be able to listen to the presentation that Mr. Ray gave on the STEAM program there, and the one that Mrs. Gould has helped organize and drive forward. Also, I was at the Temple City School Foundation, and so far this year they've donated close to $137,000 to the school. And if one takes a look back, they're the ones that helped start some of the STEAM program by giving some money to the teachers, so they were able to buy supplies and that. And I also was at the Mission Playhouse. I thought the Sunday performance was excellent. I didn't see the other ones, but I saw the Sunday one. I was very pleased with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pomeroy, please.
Okay, well, I echo my fellow board members' comments in many ways. I also enjoyed My Fair Lady Friday night, so that was a lot of fun. I was especially impressed with the 2 leads, but with the whole company and the orchestra, of course, the pit orchestra. And I went to both of the festival concerts the following week at the high school and also at Oak Avenue. And I'm especially impressed with our teachers, Mr. Bailey, Mr. Taylor, of course, Mr. Ferntile, and our new music teacher, Mr. Kyle Smith. These teachers are teaching large groups of students every day. And in particular at Oak, some of the orchestras, of which we have 3, the intermediate orchestra and the advanced orchestra are so large, and these teachers are responsible for them every day by themselves, and the results are really exceptional. So kudos to all of them. And today I was able to stop by the high school briefly and see a little bit of our baseball team playing Monrovia, our softball team playing Monrovia. I'm not sure if I was watching a JV for one of those, but anyway, they were close games. It was fun to see our boys and girls competing. I think that's it. Thank you.
Well, I'll echo what all my board members said. I won't repeat all of it. Although I think I was at every single practice for My Fair Lady and every single show, and yes, Sunday was absolutely the best. So, I think the kids, they worked out their their jitters, you know, through the Thursday matinee and then the other two shows, and so by Sunday, they just really have fun, and they actually had fun, and they were absolutely spectacular. This past Saturday, the board did its self-evaluation. We met here at 8:30 Saturday morning along with our administration. We discussed our board unity, roles, responsibility, culture, operations, our board meetings, development, et cetera, et cetera. We had some very candid conversations on how we interpret what we do, and in the long run, we always come to the same consensus, and we're pretty much like-minded. So that's it for me today. Thank you.
Would you like me to go ahead? I just have a couple, just to build on a couple comments that were made. I had the opportunity to participate for almost an hour with the VAPA group, the arts group that was here as part of the committee. And that, as Dr. Kistler mentioned, is part of a important process for us. It was a grant, you may recall, that we received and opted to have outside coaches come in and work with us in the area of visual and performing arts. So the table was full of practitioners here in the district that covered everything from performing arts to visual arts. And both of the coaches that are also assisting us in building a long-term plan for the arts in Temple City were extremely impressed by the support of the school district and the board towards the development of the arts in the district and the ongoing desire, even though they said, oh my gosh, you have so many great things in place already, our ongoing desire to actually have a plan and move forward to ensure that arts are sustainable in the school district. They were extremely impressed by even the willingness to look into that. And then secondly, is along with what was shared, is the we had shared with our site visitors at the two sites that what they saw was not for that morning, that we do work together as a board and a school district with the school sites to ensure the quality that they witnessed. And they definitely were extremely impressed, and I heard the same commentary from them. And so going forward, we're going to continue to build on that great success we have, but as Dr. Kistler said, it's not possible without the teaching teams and the support staff that we have in this district. It's just not. And I think sometimes that's lost in all of the great things that we have going on. And so I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows our level of deep appreciation for the work that's being done every day to allow us to show off. And thank you to Deb for the comments on the grounds. We worked very diligently with the facilities and maintenance department to ensure not only for the site visits, it's almost like sprucing up your house a little bit when you have guests, but also to maintain that level of expectation going forward. So thank you.
All right, written comments. The only thing that would come close to written comments is our magazine here for the California State Athletic Directors Association sent to the Board of Education. So if you want to read up on any of those issues, it's right there. Okay. You know what, there might be a test April 19th, so go ahead and read through that. All right, moving on to our discussion information portion of our agenda. Items that the board would like to discuss or information presented to the board. These items do not require board action. Number 13 is a counseling presentation by Dr. Mariatti and counselors from the high school and I think from some elementary schools too, yes. And Dr. Doug Sears, yes.
So, first of all, members of the board, thank you for allowing us to this time to make a presentation on our counseling staff for the district. I was a teacher for 15 years. If you had asked me after 15 years of being in the classroom what counselors do, I would have replied, they check credits and make sure kids graduate and go to college. That was my extensive knowledge as a high school teacher. But my next job after being in the classroom was to be an assistant principal overseeing the counseling department at high school. And that's when I realized what impact counselors have on our children, what impact counselors have on the culture of the school, and the great important work that they do with our students. Because I realized it wasn't just about counting credits, and it wasn't just about ensuring graduation. Counselors play a very pivotal role in children's lives, in motivating them, encouraging them, supporting them, being those guardians in some cases, and guiding them. And so really impactful to me as an assistant principal. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for what counselors do in general, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for what our counselors do at Temple City Unified. I'm lucky enough to be able to coordinate the Health Triangle Collaborative. We call it the HTC, and it's for mental health, physical health, and social and emotional health. And that's a collaborative of our counselors, our school psychologists, administrators, our district nurse, and we gather to talk about the health of our kids, social, emotional health, physical health, mental health, all those things that keep them going and moving forward and succeeding and doing all the wonderful things they do. So today we're going to have a presentation from our counseling department. We brought counselors from the various levels. So we have a high school counselor, Dan Sherrata, here with us. We have Wendy Bars, and she's over at Emperor, and she's elementary. And then we have Raul Marquez, and he's over at the Desert Living Center. So we kind of wanted to show you all the different, because the levels you work at really kind of determines the type of work. So I'm going to turn this over to Dan.
Thank you.
There you go. Right over here.
Okay,
There you go.
perfect. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so what I'd like to do this evening, I'm Deanne Sherrod, I'm one of 6 guidance counselors at the high school. And what I'd like to do is give you an overview of what counselors do in general. And then we have 2 more specific populations, our elementary and our alternative school, Mr. Acevedo, who will explain, that's all right, who will explain a little bit more what they do because it's a little bit different. So we want to make sure you capture that as well. So let's start with who we are. We have 3 elementary counselors. We have 2 at the intermediate school, Oak Avenue. We have 6 at the high school. And Mr. Acevedo takes care of the alternative and the independent study students. All of us hold master's degrees and pupil personnel services credentials. What that means basically is that we are educated in 3 particular support services to students. Those include academic, personal, social, and college and career. And the focus is on those 3 and the interplay of those in a student's performance and in their future goals. So we are all, a majority of us are members of professional organizations, either California Association of School Counselors or the American School Counselor Association, and in some cases both. What do we do? So again, we focus on 3 supports. Our training is focused on these 3 different supports. For the pupil personnel services credential, it is about 600 hours before you can earn that credential. Under academic, what do we cover? This is just a very basic overview, but we get into student support with regard to attendance, with regard to grades, with regard to IEPs, 504s, and SSTs. We provide support services at the IEP meetings, and then in many cases, we are the person, the point person and coordinator for 504s and the initiator of student study team meetings. We are involved in parent and teacher meetings other than these meetings as well. Course planning, university requirements, diploma requirements, because it's very different if you're going to go directly to a 4-year versus if you're going to go to a community college and transfer. And for some of our students that aren't sure what they want to do, we want to provide those options for them.
We also get involved in credit. Sometimes we have to get pretty creative about that. We have to help students go to adult school, to the night schools or some of the other programs during the summer, so we manage the credits at the high school. Under personal and social, this can run the gamut from anything involving family concerns. That could be the death of a parent. That could be a parent who lives overseas and maybe the student lives with a guardian. That could be divorce. It could be loss of job. There are many different family concerns that can impact a student's learning. We also get involved with peer concerns, self-esteem, how students feel about themselves, issues that get involved with their motivation, substance abuse. We see a lot of anxiety, so we're starting to focus a little more on anxiety, especially students that are feeling that competition for the four-year schools. There's a lot of that at the high school. There's a lot of competition because we have so many high-performing students. So we want to make sure that their course loads are reflective of their abilities and kind of a holistic approach to applying to a university, making sure that they have a balance in their activities outside of school as well as their courses. And then we deal with suicidal ideation. So when that happens, we sometimes have to work with community agencies. Sometimes we have to call the sheriff or we have to call the psychological emergency team to come in and evaluate. We involve parents in that as well. I didn't mention it on here, but we also deal with child abuse referrals to Department of Children and Family Services, and we work with foster students, homeless students. Depression, anger, dating and healthy relationships. We do a presentation in the health classes for that, where we emphasize what does a healthy relationship look like. And so this is just a very, I guess as Carrie Smith would say, one of my counseling partners says, yeah, and that's just Tuesday. So yeah, that could all be in one day. In addition to that, we do classroom lessons. We've done some common core collaborations that we're pretty excited about at the high school. I'll give you an example. We did one on risk-taking, and when you think about risk-taking, you think, drugs and alcohol and students at risk. But we did a flip on it, and what we did was the history classes were talking about Malala, and they were talking about education. And we brought in the English department, where they talked about having to stand up for something you believe in, and then the guidance department went in and we talked about healthy risk-taking. And what is it when you stand up for something you believe? For example, Malala taking the risk to go to school and then everything that happened to her after that. We do classroom lessons in body image, stress and anxiety, healthy relationships. We do personal statement workshops in English classes, online reputation, sexting. We do Naviance, which is the college preparation. It does a lot of career and different individual ability explorations in the 9th grade. And then in the 10th grade, we get a little more in depth with getting your personality to match with a career, so they use Naviance for that. When they get to the junior year, they do resume building and they do university research, and then they have a little match on there that they can take a test, and it asks them lots of questions about universities, like what size are you looking for? Do you want urban? Do you want more city? And so we tell them, for example, our population is 2,100, so if you choose a UC, you would be looking at a much larger school. And so we help them with that planning. The senior year, Naviance is about applying to the university, and we use Naviance to send the transcripts, send our letters, our recommendations, and so on. So they're taught in 9th grade how to use the program so that by the time they're seniors, they're able to actually apply to universities through Naviance. They link it to the common application. So college and career, we do career fairs, university presentations come in the fall. We have different representatives that come to the school. Students can sign up for that. We do Naviance lessons by grade level. Career exploration, resume building. We have military representatives that come on campus. If they meet individually with a student, a counselor will sit with our student when they meet with them. And then we do the career and technical exploration as well. The Health Triangle Collaborative is all of the counselors, school psychologists, and those of us that deal with mental health, our district nurse. Paul is there representing the district, and what we do basically is we meet once a month, and we try to get all of our schools addressing issues in a way that bridges. So we go from elementary to middle school to high school, and then we look at any particular issues that are coming up, and then we deal with them as a group. So sometimes we have, for example, I think it's next month, we have a speaker coming on suicide. And so we will sit and we'll do trainings, and that occurs once a month. It's usually from 8 to about 9:30. Once a month, it's the third Thursday of every month here from 8 to 9:30. I brought you, because we operate on a calendar, in addition to the day-to-day things that we do, we are also proactive in that we sit down every year and we plan our calendar year for each year. And then as we do that, we evaluate what was working, what could work better, is there anything new that we need to bring in, and maybe something that we don't need to be doing anymore so that we stay current. So just to help you kind of have an understanding of what we do, I brought a division of duties because we trade around every year at the high school, so this is kind of what we individually do. I brought Oak's calendar and an overview of Oak so you have an opportunity to read and learn more specifically about Oak. And I brought the high school calendar all the way from August through June so that you can take a look at this. These are things that we plan that we do at this school that don't involve the day-to-day activities, but this way we can stay proactive. And I also brought the Career Center and what they do. And they deal with work permits, they schedule all the representatives that come from the universities, they manage job boards and scholarships and so on. So this way you kind of have an overview of what the services are and how the services connect. Because I know we're on a little bit of a timeline, I want to make sure my colleagues have an opportunity to share. So I think Wendy was going to go first, and she's going to talk to you a little bit more specific about elementary. And then Raul will come up and he'll speak more to the alternative and the independent study. Thank you so much for your time and your support. Thank you.
Good evening. Can you hear me, or should I use the microphone? No, I'm okay. All right, thank you. So many people ask, there's counseling in elementary school? Really? They're very, very curious as to what on earth does an elementary school counselor do. So we do a variety of a lot of things. Students in elementary school experience many issues that if not addressed, it will interfere with their academic achievement and their social growth. And so as counselors, we support all students in the areas of personal social needs, academic support, and career awareness. We really do start career awareness in elementary school. It's really, really fun, but they also walk away with learning something. In the personal social domain, our classroom guidance lessons are focused on safety, conflict resolution, and bullying prevention. And it is our goal for our students to have as many social emotional tools in their toolbox as possible before they go on to Oak Avenue. And we also have group and individual counseling. And here we provide support in coping skills, behavior management, relational aggression, and then also we do kindergarten readiness skills for some of the kindergartners who are just having a little bit of challenges. We also help in assessing threats and crisis management, and then we also do school-wide programs like character education. We also have different kinds of clubs. The different elementary schools have different ones. I have the Peace Squad at Emperor, and then at Jenny has the Peacekeepers, and then Judy has the Character Club. So they all focus on building character, and then also their service-based is to giving back to the school and the community. Lastly, in the academic domain, we provide support in study skills, as well as we attend SSTs, IEPs, 504 plan meetings. And then lastly, in the career domain, we conduct guidance lessons in career awareness, in addition to having a career day at each school site, which is really, really fun. So thank you for your support of school counselors as we help to form the foundation of knowledge, attitudes, and skills for our students' success both now and in the future. And for your information, I have a detailed list of all of the duties that we performed because I could go on for a long time.
That's just Tuesday, right?
Exactly, that's just Tuesday.
Testing. Is it picking me up? All right. Well, good evening, board members, superintendent, community members, and fellow colleagues. I'd like to get a picture, if you will, a child or a teen whose academic achievement has been impacted in some way by a life event that resulted in the need or strong desire to change their educational program or setting. Any life event. Maybe a seemingly simple residential move, or a little more difficult transcontinental move. Maybe the absence of one or both parents in the home for any unfortunate reason. Having been a victim of any sort, including being bullied. Maybe having a specific learning disability, or the violation of a head code. Former juvenile court school pupil. Homelessness, poor health, behavioral or emotional disorder, or possibly an opportunity to be on the path of an amateur professional. The list of reasons go on why students end up at the Doug Sears Learning Center and or the alternative school, which is also known as independent studies. So I'd like to give you just a very general few statements overview. So with this in mind, what is done for the student? What evidence shows that counseling is occurring, and a concluding statement. So just briefly, what's done for our students? The majority of my time is used providing direct and indirect student services through individual student planning, monitoring, responsive services, and most of the remaining time in school-wide program management system support. The students have me as a resource to assist them with individual, academic, career, personal, social planning in the form of direct service. Indirect services to support student achievement and success are services I provide on behalf of students. And those come in the form of referrals, consultation, collaboration with teachers and fellow district personnel, community resource specialists, and parents. So what evidence is there that this occurs? Well, whether it be a mindset or a behavior that has evolved, a transition into a higher attendance percentage, character building through community service performed, or transferring back to the traditional setting of Temple City High School, meeting local district or just state minimum diploma requirements, or the transition into a trade school, the workforce, military, community college, CSU, UC, even Ivy League. You'll know that our school counseling efforts, responsibilities, duties, and commitment to students have met the national standards when you observe these students having developed the skills to continue succeeding beyond barriers and through each personal milestone. Thank you. One final comment. Tomorrow, if you'd like to see our students in action and get to know them a little better, a nice group who's been putting a lot of effort for a performance. They'll be performing their own story, their own personal real-life stories. Bring your Kleenex. There's going to be some laughs and some tears getting jerked. I've seen the rehearsals, so that's at 10 o'clock tomorrow at the Learning Center. All right, hope to see you.
Oh, I have a flyer. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I have to agree with Dr. Mary. There's, I always see counselors, and if someone were to ask me what counselors do, I say, well, they talk to people, they help people. I don't mean to discount what you do. You're very important, but this has been eye-opening to me. I had no idea And like I say, this is only on Tuesday, I fully believe that. I'm curious though, you have so much going on with just students. How much interaction do you have with parents also concerning these issues that you work with the students on?
Sometimes the parents will call or they will email, and I'll sometimes I feel like I'm being rude. They'll call or they'll email. Sometimes we contact them. It depends. If it's a student and we have, for example, we just got a 6-week progress report for second semester. If I see that a student has 3 Fs, I'm going to call the parent. If a student is consistently late, we get notices on the tardies. Grades and attendance go hand in hand, so we might call and ask what's going on. Is there something that we need to know? So sometimes we talk to the students. Now, there's a confidentiality piece to counseling. When a student comes to speak with a counselor, there are 3 things we have to tell them right away. If I believe you're going to hurt yourself, you make comments about hurting yourself, suicidal ideation, self-harm, we have to tell because we have to get you help. I tell the student, you can't leave here with us thinking that you might harm yourself. If you tell us you're going to harm someone else, or if you tell us someone's harming you. Other than that, it's confidential. So sometimes students will come in, but we will often ask the student, would you like us to talk to your parent with you? Or what type of support can we provide? And then we encourage them to involve the parent. So it just depends on what the issue is and what's going on, how or when a parent would be contacted. An SST meeting, student study team meeting, would be when a student is in danger of failing, for example, the 3 Fs I mentioned. We would contact the teachers and contact the parents, set up a meeting. That would be our responsibility to do that. We hold a student study team meeting, and then we determine the next steps of intervention. So lots of different reasons why we might contact a parent or how a parent would get involved.
It just seems to me that you're very involved in even just the upbringing of the children. Teaching them all the life lessons that you would think someone would be teaching at home.
What's important about that is when you come to school and you have to learn, for example, if you came and sat here tonight, and let's say right before you came to work, or right before you came to this board meeting, your washing machine overflowed and you had a plumber at your house and you had a whole bunch of stuff going on. And you had to come and sit here and read what was going to happen at your meeting tonight. You know how it's hard to get that information to go in? It's like that with kids. If they come to school and mom and dad just had a fight, or they're talking about moving, or someone lost a job, or grandma's moving in, or parents overseas, whatever's going on, boyfriend, girlfriend breaks up, it's hard to get the math in. It's hard to get the science in. So what we try to do is remove the barriers to learning. So we don't really get involved in a person's family business per se. We don't get up in their business. But what we do is, our responsibility is to remove the barriers to learning. So whatever is going on, we try to help them be able to focus and be able to do school. That's why we're there.
It seems to me you almost have to clone yourself. You have to be everywhere.
It's an awesome job. It's tiring, but I can't think of anything more passionate or rewarding or more fulfilling than that job. And the team that we have, all those counselors, if you ever show up on a Thursday morning, you'll be blown away. The team is just amazing. All of the counselors are just amazing. And we love what we do, and we really appreciate your support.
Happy to provide. Yeah, one more question, please. What is a 504?
You explain a 504.
The 504 is actually a civil rights regulation, so that every student has a right to access all the services on the school site. So students that might have a disability that impacts a major life activity would be eligible for a 504. So it could be a student with diabetes, a student with a severe allergy, a student with a physical handicap. And so we will write up a plan for them to make sure that they can access the curriculum and all the things that all general education students can access. It is not a special education piece. It's a completely separate piece of special education.
I see. Thank you. I need to monopolize the mic here. Any other questions, sir? Okay.
Yes, have we done anything with the apprentice programs with the counselors?
The CTE, what I know you brought apprentice programs to the high school. I did bring those to administration when you brought those in, so I want you to know I did do that. The focus at that time was on getting the CTE connection between PCC and getting those classes going. So I think it's kind of gone that direction. That's where, you know, if we only have so much energy, that's where the focus of the energy has gone, because it allows that continuation from the high school to the community college.
And the other one is, have we expanded, other than your summer school, financial literacy, I guess?
Financial literacy. We do have the freshman seminar course, which is the Get Focused, Stay Focused curriculum, which spends some time on understanding finance, how much does it cost to live, what kind of professions that they would like to do, and how much that profession pays, and if you choose that profession, what you could afford. And so students through the freshman seminar and beyond, using the Get Focused, Stay Focused curriculum, really have said that it's an eye-opener as to how much it costs to survive and be on their own and functions.
We do the same thing through Naviance, the software. If you ever want to be set up as a student, I can set you up as a fake student, and you can go in and take the test. And they have this one test that you can take where it'll show you, like you explore the career, and then it'll show you by state how much they make, so you can decide if you want to move or stay here based on your career. But they do cover some of those components in Naviance too.
And we offered as an elective, students have the option to take financial literacy, the course through our Apex, it's our online curriculum, so have that option.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, and it's always helpful to hear about what you all are doing. At each level, I appreciate the different duties and different ways that counselors support the administration and provide all kinds of services to students. It's particularly at the high school, and I believe, and it's nothing that any of the five of us necessarily did, but I believe at one point we were able to add another counselor. Maybe the number of students per counselor is a little bit more reasonable, though it's still a lot. I'll just, we hand out diplomas at graduation at the high school, and I think the counselors often are sitting behind me. And there's so many times when students are coming up and they're connecting with the counselor, and I hear the counselors are excited that the kid made it. And there's just that connection, which I know is so challenging when the number of students each of you work with is so high. It always impresses me, that connection that is made, and I know that a lot of time went into that. And at the Learning Center as well, with all the different things that come up there, and every time I visit your school, I enjoy hearing about what you're doing and seeing examples of your work. And then, at the elementary level, my kids went through Longden, and Judy Schmidt, she was like the one constant, besides Mr. Javier, the custodian, really the one constant the whole time we were there, and it was such a rock of support for what's quite a large elementary school. So I know we all very much appreciate your efforts. Thanks for taking the time on a Wednesday when you might be doing other things and you have to go back to work early, but I really appreciated hearing your presentations. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I want to echo that. I think, as I fondly refer to you, the triangle people, I try to attend whenever I can on their Thursday meetings, and Paul and I express our commitment on behalf of the district to take off what we can in support to free the counselors to do what they do best. And so those dialogues and those conversations are so helpful. And many of you know that I've spent several years being a counselor actually at Oak Avenue. And so they are really being very modest in the load that they carry, and that was obviously a number of years ago, but I will agree with Deanna, it's one of the best jobs that you can have as far as an educator, and actually feeling that passion and making a difference with students, but it also is very wearing. And so I appreciate every day what you do, so thank you.
I wanted to thank you also publicly for allowing us to begin to attend more conferences and receive more training. There was kind of a freeze on that for a little bit, And when things come up and different types of training come up, they've been incredibly supportive, and I just publicly want to thank you for that.
You want to thank Paul?
And oh, I'll take
I
Paul
didn't tell her,
tomorrow.
I didn't
Don't
tell her to
or
spend all that money
something.
on you.
You know. But it's great though, because we get to do the extra things, and we bring them back, and then we can teach others and stuff. And it allows us to explore and do new things and have new ideas, so thank you. Thank you for that.
We actually have a product of adopted at the Sears Learning Center here. As one of Mr. Champagne would like to add anything.
Is there a format, the format so that you can't ask a question?
I'll let you ask a question.
Regarding the high school, where's the fine line between, let's say, the peer listeners and the counselors, and how often do they get referrals from the peer listeners and saying, we can't handle this, we need help?
You have a peer listener sitting behind you.
Yeah.
Advisor.
Do you mean like the student referrals? How does that work?
Well, a student goes to a peer listener and they realize this is beyond what I can handle. I suggest that you go see Ms. Sherrod.
Oh, okay. It actually works just the opposite.
Oh, it does?
We have 6 counselors that are or 6 peers on duty, like for 6 periods, they work on duty. But in order for a student to be able to see a peer, a form has to be completed. It's a referral form. We read the form, the advisors read the form, so let's say, for example, a form would come in my box, I would look at it. If it deals with anything serious, self-harm, anything like that, it immediately goes to the counselor. And then even if it's something a little less, our policy is usually to have the counselor meet with the student. We offer peer listening, so they don't have to take advantage of it, but we say we have this program. Perhaps you'd like to take advantage of it. Sometimes they do, and then we provide a place for them to speak. They can either speak with a peer on duty or we assign one. And then, like I said, if it's more serious though, they're going to go through the counselor first before they go to the peer. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good information, thank you.
Yeah, and just today, we brought in our 75 new peers that will be